Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Greenbrier, West Virginia, home of the 2020 Little League State Tournament in the state of West Virginia. Chris Kidd here with you, with Brian Shepard, our engineer and statistician, as we are set for our final game today between Mineral County out of the Eastern Panhandle against Fairmont out of the Northern Panhandle, as these two teams with a long travel down, but they get set to do battle to see who will take on the winner of Game 3, which turned out to be Cerrito Canova, who defeated Greenbrier 7-3, Central Greenbrier 7-3 earlier today. And the loser of this game will take on Central Greenbrier in a do-or-die game tomorrow at 1 p.m. So let's look through the schedule. Again, it started at 10 a.m. this morning. The Logan All-Stars defeated Billington 9-3. Boone Northern fell to Sophia in a tight game, 5-3. Another tight game until the bottom of the fifth inning. Cerrito Canova winning 7-3, and you see our final game getting ready to start. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., it'll be Billington against Boone Northern in the first elimination game. Then at 1 o'clock, it'll be Central Greenbrier against the loser of this game in the second elimination game. Then at 6 o'clock, it'll be Logan and Sophia in the winner's bracket. And then Cerrito Canova against the winner of this game in the winner's bracket at 8:30. So again, full slate of games tomorrow as well here on Video Productions as we're set to go. Again, both teams wearing similar uniforms, but it's Fairmont who's up to bat to start things out with Mineral County on the mound, as we'll set the lineups here in a moment. As Jacob steals, first pitch swung on and missed by Fairmont. And we're underway. Again, Owen Music will lead things off for the Fairmont All-Stars, followed by Case Lynn and Tanner Woodman, as this one fouled right back into our camera screen. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. 2-0 Music. As Jacobs winds and deals. This one misses over the head, actually hits Music, and he'll take first base. So tough start there after getting ahead 0-2 for Jacobs. Ends up hitting the batter, and now that'll bring up Case Lynn again. The opposing pitcher batting second. Tanner Woodman, the right fielder, batting third. Deshaun Floyd, the first baseman, batting cleanup. Batting fifth is Brody Bledsoe, the second baseman. As this one hit right back to the mound, knocked down by Jacobs, throws to second and gets away. And everyone is safe. So a couple of blunders early on here for Mineral County, allowing Fairmont to get the first 2 batters on, and that'll bring up Tanner Woodman. Then batting sixth for Fairmont will be Brody Bledsoe, the second baseman, Bledsoe batting fifth. Carter Mcknight batting sixth and playing left field. Batting seventh will be Larry Nichols, the third baseman. Batting eighth is River McLean, the catcher. And rounding out the lineup will be Colby Van Gilder, the center fielder. And we'll set the defense for Mineral County here in just a moment as this pitch in catches for a strike. So Jacobs trying to get the first out of the inning here. Again, had it a moment ago, but could not make the play at second base. That's in for a strike. 2 strikes now on Woodman. Count 1-2. Strike 3 swinging as Jacobs able to retire Woodman for the first out of the ball game for Mineral County as we run through the defense for Mineral County. And in left field, you have Landon Catlett. Center field, Jeremiah Babo. In right field, Braylon McGreevy. Third base, Landon Orndorff. Shortstop, Jackson Hare. Second base, Lucas Williamson. At first base, Cade Bauer. Pitching is Blake Jacobs. And behind home plate is Jesus Perdue. The 1-0 pitch lunged at and missed by Floyd. 1-1. Again, the bench players for Fairmont will be Landon Jones and Garrett Bosley. For Mineral County, it'll be Corbin McKenzie and Carson Feaster. Jacobs winds and fires. This one fouled into the screen. 0-2, or 1-2 rather. Now Floyd climbs back in. Jacobs trying to settle in after hitting a batter, and then an error at second base on the throw. As that one hit in between third and short. That gets through into left field for a hit. Stopping at third will be music, as quickly up with it was Catlett and getting it back in. And Deshaun Floyd comes through with a single to load the bases here on the top of the first inning and bring up Brody Bledsoe. So a chance here early for Fairmont to put up some run support for Case Lynn, and Brody Bledsoe, the second baseman, with his first look, takes a strike on the outer half, 0-1. Jacobs winds and fires. This one hit hard into left field. That's going to get into the gap and get all the way to the wall. One run is in. 2 runs are in, and Fairmont has taken a 2-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. A 2 RBI single for Brody Bledsoe, and they have jumped on top early. That'll bring up Carter Mcknight, the left fielder. Again, this Fairmont team, evidently in last night's home run derby that they held here, this Fairmont team was responsible for a lot of balls that left this yard. So this is apparently a very hard-hitting and offensive ball club. As Jones will go to check in. Landon Jones will courtesy run in favor of Floyd. That'll bring up Carter Mcknight, the left fielder. First pitch to him, ripped into left field, and it is foul just off to the left corner of the line. Or else you're probably looking at Jones scoring standing up, and maybe an opportunity for Bledsoe at that point. This Fairmont team just jumping all over pitching here in the early going, and you saw that ball hooking just at the last moment there and got foul. This one hit over towards third base and gets into foul territory as Orndorff goes over to kill it. So now count at 0-2 as Jacobs trying to settle down here and prevent any further damage in the first inning. Still only 1 away. Fastball misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jacobs working quickly here with runners at first and second. And that one misses low, 2-2. Off-speed pitch misses high, and Mcknight has worked his way back to a full count after falling behind 0-2 in the early going, as that's already 19 pitches here this inning for Jacobs. And here comes the payoff pitch. This one hit hard into center field, sinking fast, and that's going to get into the gap in right center. That's going to bring around 1 run. Bledsoe digging for third. He'll slide in safely as Jones scores from second, and it's an RBI single for Mcknight as he takes second base on the throw to home. And this Fairmont team has erupted early on and take now a 3-0 lead. That's going to bring up Larry Nichols, the number 7 hitter in this lineup, with still second and third and only 1 out as a visit to the mound coming. And there, just a great inside-out piece of hitting by Mcknight, able to find that gap. As that's pitch number 20 for Jacobs. Now, if they pull him here for Mineral County, he would be eligible to pitch tomorrow. If he stays in, though, then he would have to have at least a day's rest, and it appears they're going to go ahead and pull him in this scenario, and Orndorff is going to take over. That way Jacobs will be available for tomorrow.
Now on the mound for Mineral County, number 15.
And it appears that Jacobs, we'll see where they switch him at. Appears he's going to go to shortstop. And they've also brought in Bauer, it appears. He will take over at third base. So again, we're here in the top of the first inning, and Fairmont has already jumped all over Mineral County 3-0. It started with a hit batter on an 0-2 count. Then a ground ball back to the pitcher. Tried to throw out the lead runner, Music, at second base, but the ball got away on the throw. Allowed him to reach, got a strikeout of Woodman, and then it's been 3 straight hits since then as Floyd singled to left. Bledsoe had a 2 RBI single to left field, and now an RBI single by Mcknight into right center field. And now you've got runners at second and third with still only 1 out. As the bottom of the order will come up here as Orndorff is ready to go. And Nichols, the third baseman, with his first at bat of the ball game. Fastball in for a strike, 0-1. Again, it appears Hare has moved out into 2. Actually, Bauer is now still at first base, and it appears Hare has moved over to third base. And the change is made just a moment ago. Here comes the 0-2, and strike 3 called as Orndorff comes in, and 3 straight pitches to Nichols, just mows him down for out number 1. Excuse me, out number 2 of the inning. So that'll bring up River McLean. He slaps one towards the right side and just into foul territory as Bauer tried to go over and get it, but just rolled past the chalk. And Mineral County trying to avoid any further damage. Again, you keep this at 3-0. You still got a very manageable game on your hands. A couple more runs here could spell trouble for Mineral County. This one lifted out of play to the right. 5 pitches for Orndorff and 5 straight strikes. He's come in trying to overpower this Fairmont roster. Now 1 strike away from keeping this at just 3 runs this inning. Swung on and missed, but gets away. No one can locate the ball, and that's going to allow the runner to score from third. And McLean is safe at first base. And that's been the type of inning it's been, unfortunately, for Mineral County. That is now the second extra out they've given Fairmont this inning with a throwing error, and now the 3rd strike that gets away, and that brings up Colby Van Gilder. That pitch misses low, 1-0. Fairmont has batted around this inning. The 9th batter in this lineup to stand in. Fastball in for a strike, 1-1. There's a strike on the outside corner. Nice fastball there from Orndorff. Now once again, 1 strike away from putting this top half of the first inning away with runners at the corners. Swung on and missed, strike 3 as he strikes out Van Gilder and strikes out 3 in a row to end the inning. But Fairmont, with 3 hits and helped by an error and a passed ball on a strike 3, have taken a 4-0 lead in the top of the first inning. We'll be back after this break as you are watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament with us right here live on Video Productions. 4-0 Fairmont as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Chris Kidd here with you, alongside me, Brian Shepard, our engineer and statistician, as Case Lynn on the mound for the Fairmont All-Stars, and have been spotted a nice lead to get things started, as first at bat for Mineral County, Jackson Hare will lead things off. As the lefty takes a strike, 0-1. Jackson Hare will be followed by Blake Jacobs, the pitcher, batting second. Jesus Purdue, the catcher, batting third. Batting cleanup will be Landon Orndorff, who's now pitching. That one fouled back into the screen by Hare, 0-2. Cade Bauer batting fifth, the first baseman. And you get Lucas Williamson, the second baseman, batting sixth. Jeremiah Babo, who's moved into the infield now at third base, batting seventh. Landon Catlett, left fielder, batting eighth. And Braylon McCreevy batting ninth, the right fielder. We'll set the defense for Fairmont here in a moment. It's counting out 1-2 to Hare. Lane comes with a fastball but misses low, 2-2. That one ripped down the left side, but just foul. That'll keep the count even at 2-2 as Hare trying to get things started out on the right foot for Mineral County, as they've got an uphill climb now after giving up 4 runs in the top of the first inning. Lynn sets and fires. Swung on a miss, strike 3 as he puts Hare away after a tough little battle, and that'll be out number 1 here in the bottom of the first, as that'll bring up Blake Jacobs now. Now Jacobs, after being lifted after 20 pitches, as we said, he'll still be eligible to pitch tomorrow. Should Mineral County elect to use him in that regard, like we've talked about in the other 3 games. A lot of strategy going in to how these coaches use their pitchers in certain pitch count scenarios. We'll talk about that in the broadcast, as that one misses outside. 2-0 from Lynn. Again, with the pitch count rules, it's actually turned Little League tournaments into a bit of a game of chess in a lot of regards, as that one catches outside, 2-1. And again, it's a good rule that they've instated to make sure you protect a lot of these young arms. It's just added an extra little aspect to trying to think your way through a game if you're a coach, as this one chopped towards second, backed up on by Bledsoe, but an errant throw over to first, and that'll allow Jacobs to reach. So we've seen both teams come out with some butterflies, it seems, on both sides of the defense, as both have now committed an error in this game. Again, great job by Bledsoe backing up and fielding that cleanly, but it looked like Jacobs was really pushing him to get rid of that ball, hustling up the line, and looks like Bledsoe just hurried the throw and missed with it. That one in for a strike to Jesus Purdue, 0-1. That one fouled back into the screen. Quickly 0-2 against Purdue. Hear the Fairmont dugout telling their outfield to get back. And they understand the power that Purdue has. This one ripped over towards first base side, gets through into right field for a single. So again, almost reminiscent of what we saw Fairmont do in the top half of the first inning, able to capitalize on an early error by Mineral County. Now Mineral County going to try and do the same here, as could have been 2 outs and nobody on, and instead now you've got runners at first and second with still only 1 out, and Landon Orndorff, the cleanup hitter, standing in. Lane gets ahead, 0-1 with a fastball. Off-speed pitch misses over the head of Orndorff, count at 1-1, and Orndorff came in, did a terrific job in relief to get out of that first inning. Again, was able to strike out 3 straight batters, but had some bad luck with that pass ball. Now this one ripped into left field. That's a base hit, quickly back into the infield, and the base is loaded now for Mineral County. So 2 straight hits after the error. Now Mineral County 1 deep ball away from evening this up completely as Cade Bauer, the number 5 hitter, comes to the dish. Again, Orndorff just ripped into that fastball, plugged it right in between third and short. As Bauer fouls it back into the screen, 0-1. So again, we could possibly be in hand for a shootout here in our final game with the way things are shaping up early on. That one in for a strike, 0-2 now as he gets ahead of Bauer. So it could be a big out here for Fairmont if Ling can retire Bauer here. Off-speed pitch fouled up into the screen. Now this is going to be pitch number 20 coming up already for Lynn. So both starting pitchers had to labor through the first inning. Jacobs didn't escape it. There's swing and a miss, strike 3. And a big strikeout by Lynn, his second strikeout here in the first inning. And that'll bring up Lucas Williamson, the second baseman. Lynn started out the inning with the strikeout, then the throwing error, then back-to-back singles, and now another strikeout. Williamson takes a strike at the knees, 0-1.
Colby 10, hey, come in just a hair, come in 2. Carter, come in 1 or 2. Get after it.
Lynn rocks and fires with the 0-1 delivery. That one catches the outside corner, now up ahead at 0-2. So this would be a big lift to Fairmont. And could be very deflating to Mineral County if they don't come across with anything this inning. Here comes the 0-2 from Lynn. Swung on and fouled up into the screen. Count remains at 0-2. Lynn ready to go again with another 0-2. Strike 3 called as he paints the outside corner and strikes out the side. Mineral County leaves the bases loaded on 2 hits, and Fairmont takes a 4-0 lead as we move to the top of the second inning. Back after this break as you're watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament with us right here on Video Productions. We move to the top of the second inning with Fairmont leading Mineral County 4-0. Chris Kidd with you, with Brian Shepard, our engineer and statistician for today's game. As back to the top of the order, Owen Music waves through a fastball, 0-1. Again, Music was hit by a pitch to start the game off and then later came around to score the first run of the game. There's a high fastball. Music goes after and comes up empty, 0-2. So Orndorff has come in, done a phenomenal job thus far, looking for his fourth straight strikeout. And he puts Music away on 3 pitches. So things could be interesting here in a moment as to what Mineral County chooses to do with Orndorff. Again, he's at pitch 13 right now. If they elect to stay with him past 20 pitches, then he'd have to take tomorrow off. But thus far, he seems overpowering on the mound. There's a strike in to Lynn, 0-1. And he came in to try and limit the damage in the first inning and was able to do so. Now Lynn, who reached on a throwing error, and takes one right in the side of the mask, I believe. Yes, he did. Thankfully, he appears to be okay as he goes to first base. I think it caught. Okay, they said it hit his elbow. And Orndorff comes over quickly to let him know that that wasn't intended. And I thought that might have caught the side of his face mask there for a second, but he said maybe it got at his elbow. It appears though Lynn is perfectly fine as he's over at first base. That's good to see. Tanner Woodman stands in now with 1 out and a runner at first. As he fouls one off to the right side, 0-1. Woodman struck out in the first inning when he faced Jacobs. It's the first batter to reach base against Orndorff is Lynn, as that one misses low, 1-1. Orndorff rocks and fires. This one hit back up the middle, and that gets through into center field for a hit. Lynn gets into second. Woodman safe at first. And now Fairmont looking to strike again here after a 4-run first inning. It'll bring up Deshaun Floyd. He had a single to left field in the first inning. Later led to a run, and just great job there by Woodman, waiting on his back foot for that fastball to get to him and then just use the speed and the power against Orndorff and put it into center field. That pitch to Floyd misses high, 1-0. Fouled off to the right side. Now 0-2, or 1-1, excuse me. That was pitch number 20 by Orndorff, so I guess we'll find out after this batter whether he'll come out or not to preserve him for tomorrow in whatever scenario Mineral County would be playing in, whether it be the winners or the losers bracket. Again, double elimination tournament. Eliminations begin tomorrow, as we'll lose 2 teams tomorrow in the morning session. As there's a nice breaking ball in for a strike. Swinging and missing was Floyd, 1-2. Fastball called strike 3 on the outside corner. As Orndorff comes back from the hit batter and the single by Woodman to retire a second batter of the inning, and that's going to bring up Brody Bledsoe. Bledsoe had a 2 RBI single to left field in his first at bat. He's the number 5 hitter in this Fairmont lineup. Loads up, tries to catch up to that fastball, but goes through it, 0-1. Looked like he wanted to hold up on that initially, but ended up going around. Looked like it was going to be a strike anyway, though, from Orndorff. This one lifted into right center field, and that's going to get in. Rounding third, coming home and scoring standing up, makes it 5-0. They hold the runner at third, and Bledsoe gets in with an RBI double. So he's got 3 RBIs in this game thus far, and we're only 2 innings in. And Fairmont now holds a 5-0 lead. It appears Orndorff will stay in, as you see there, the inside-out hit over the second baseman Williamson's head. And almost got to the wall again, but close enough. That pitch misses inside to Mcknight. 1-0, and Mcknight had an RBI single into right center field his first time up. Base hit here could possibly score 2. Swing and a miss by Mcknight, 1-1. So now Orndorff, at this moment, would have to sit out tomorrow's game, at least on the mound, that is. That one fouled off by Mcknight. Count it 1-2. This Fairmont team's come out as advertised at the plate. Again, we heard that they were going to be a very good offensive team coming in, and thus far they've put up 5 runs in 2 innings and still looking for more. Orndorff trying to keep this at a 5-0 game as he's 1 strike away from ending the inning. That pitch misses low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one foul tip, just staying alive is Mcknight on that. It sounded like it went off the mask of Purdue as well. Trying to make Orndorff work here as he approaches pitch number 30 on this release. That fastball misses outside to Mcknight as he's worked his way back to a full count against Orndorff. So trying to load the bases here and give Larry Nichols an opportunity. It was actually the first batter that Orndorff faced when he came in. Swung on and missed, strike 3, but it gets away as they have to throw down to first. Bauer snags it, and that'll do it here in the top of the second inning. But Fairmont scratches across another run on 2 hits, and they lead it now 5-0 as we move to the bottom of the second inning. Back after this break as you're watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament right here live on Video Productions. Welcome back, everybody. Bottom of the second we move, and again, we've talked about the pitch count rule that's in effect. Again, been in effect for a little over a decade, I believe, but 0 to 20 pitches, you can come back and pitch the next day. Anything between 21 and 35 pitches, you have to have 1 day's rest. 36 to 50 pitches, 2 days rest. 51 to 65, 3 days rest, and anything over 65, which 66 to 85 requires full 5. And again, 4, but yes, 85 pitches is the limit regardless. So you can finish the batter you're on once you reach one of those little pitch plateaus, but after that, you have to come out or have to make a decision on what to do with your pitcher. But as we said, 85 is absolutely the cutoff for any of these pitchers as the count 2-0 to Jeremiah Babo, the center fielder, lead things off this inning. Going to be the 7, 8, 9 hitters for Mineral, and now Lynn falls behind 3-0. And the last thing you want if you're Fairmont in this situation with a 5-0 lead is to start walking batters. And there Lynn finds the strike zone on the outer half, 3-1. And as the old saying in baseball, walks will haunt. And they have hurt a few teams today in certain situations. As this one hit high in the air into center field, backing up, and enough room for Van Gilder to make the grab for out number 1. Bauer gave that a heck of a ride. Or Babo, gave that a heck of a ride into center field. Looked like it could be gone for a moment, but the ballpark held it. And hit it to probably the deepest part of the ballpark. If that had been to right or left field, that would have definitely been gone. But instead, a long out for Babo, and that'll bring up Landon Catlett as he swings and misses, 0-1. Swing and a miss and a fastball as Lynn settling in now here in the second inning, 0-2. And 3 strikeouts in the first inning for Lynn. Sandwiched in between a couple of singles and an error. And there's swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets away from McLean. He'll throw down to first to Floyd in time for out number 2. So again, a defense for Fairmont. You've got Mcknight in left field, Van Gilder in center field, Woodman in right field. Nichols at third base, Music at shortstop, Bledsoe at second base, Floyd at first, Lynn on the mound, and McLean behind home plate. His first pitch swinging by McGreevy out of play over towards the right and just past us, and he took out a pine cone too in the process. The pine cone landed right beside me above the tree that was hit. Baseball was maybe about 10 feet away from us. Again, we've talked about throughout the day, man, we've had some of these players looking to take us out over here on the first base side as that pitch gets over the head. Yeah, so they're aiming for us. These kids are definitely a lot more talented than what anyone would think at this level. Again, but they've definitely put us on alert throughout today. Count 1-1, swing and a miss. As that time Lynn took a little off on the pitch to McGreevy, and now 1 strike away from a 1-2-3 inning. It started Hare for Lynn, falling behind 3-0 to Babo. That one skips off the plate and misses. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the second inning. Winner of this game takes on Cerrito Canova tomorrow in the winner's bracket. Loser will take on Central Greenbrier. That one misses over the head of McGreevy, and now he's worked his way back to a 3-2 count. Trying to cycle this back to the top of the order. That one hit hard in the right field, sinking and falls in for a hit as Woodman up with it and gets it back in. But McGreevy keeps the inning alive with a 2-out single. And that will bring up Jackson Hare.
The shortstop, number 13, Jackson Hare.
That's 38 pitches now for Lynn. That pitch misses high, 1-0. Again, Hare struck out back in the first inning to lead things off after a nice little battle between him and Lynn. Swing and a miss on an inside fastball, 1-1. The sun's starting to set over top of the trees here in Greenbrier. As you can see, shade going across the field, just a little sunlight left out in left field as that one dribbled over towards the right side. Tough play, and able to beat it out is Hare. As Bledsoe did a good job keeping it on the infield, and Floyd made a stretch for it, but Hare was going to beat that out anyway, so an infield hit for him. And back-to-back singles keeping the inning alive here, as that'll bring up Blake Jacobs. So again, you see right there just a tough in-between ball. And as you can see right there, Hare was already at first base by the time the ball even got over to Floyd as that pitch gets away, and that's going to allow the runners to move up to second and third. So another opportunity here for Mineral. Again, they loaded the bases in the bottom of the first inning with 1 out, and Lynn was able to strike out Bauer and Williamson to end the inning. Now it's almost been the opposite effect. Lynn got the first 2 outs of this inning, and now a couple of hits and a passed ball have put Mineral County in position to try and plate a few. Jacobs can get a hold of one here. That one misses, 2-0. Jacobs reached on a throwing error in the first inning. Nice curveball, jumps in for a strike right at the waist, 2-1. That one catches the outside corner. Jacobs laid off of it, but they say catches on the outer half. So now Lynn has come back to even up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looking for the third out here. This is low as it skips in. Nice stop by McLean. The count is run full. So that's now 46 pitches by Lynn. He's not through 2 innings yet, as Mineral County's really made him work out here on the mound. But can he escape once more? Ball 4 low, and that loads the bases for the second straight inning for Mineral County. And now you've got the number 3 hitter in the lineup for Mineral County, Jesus Perdue, who singled to right field his last time up. And this Mineral County team has got a lot of offense too, and they can erupt in a hurry as Lynn gets ahead on a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. That pitch misses low. Count evens up at 1-1. So Mineral County left the bases loaded last inning. Can they break through here and make this a ball game? Here's the 1-1. This one hit high in the air into left center field, and that's going to fall for a hit. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. They waved around the third, but hold him up now, and Mineral County now has cut the lead to 5-3 on a 2 RBI double by Jesus Perdue. So what looked like potentially very quick inning for Lynn has now seen 3 hits and a walk ever since the first 2 outs were recorded. And Mineral County not done yet as Landon Orndorff stands in. He singled to left field in his first plate appearance. Strike on the outside corner is once again worked. Lynn gets ahead in the count. Orndorff, the cleanup hitter, and now the opposing pitcher against Lynn. So he'd love nothing more than to drive in a couple runs here and re-energize his ball club as he goes around on that high fastball. Tried to hold up, but now Lynn once again ahead 0-2. So he's above 50 pitches now at 52. Pitch misses outside. Runner thought about coming, but holds up as McLean recovered quickly. As we talked about in the other games, it's a short backstop here at Central Greenbrier Little League Field, but did happen to see last game with Central Greenbrier and Cerrito Canova able to take home on a couple, but didn't see it in the first 2. And that was almost strike 3, just missed outside to Orndorff. You heard some of the groans go up from the Fairmont side. Orndorff in on the plate here, really crowding it. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. This one hammered into center field, backing up and over the head of Van Gilder. That'll score 2 runs. Here comes Orndorff digging for second, and he's in with a 2 RBI double, and it's down to a 5-4 game here in the bottom of the second inning. As Orndorff just absolutely crushed that ball into dead center field. Van Gilder made a play on it, but it was just absolutely smoked from the second it left the bat and got over his head in a hot second. And now all of a sudden you've got the tying run standing out at second base as Bauer pops one up. It could be playable, it is, and Lynn able to make the grab for out number 3. But what a 2-out rally by Mineral County. As after the first 2 were recorded, they end up coming back with 4 hits and a walk to plate 4 runs, and we've got a brand new game heading to the top of the third inning. Back after this, as you are watching the West Virginia State Little League Tournament with us right here live on Video Productions. Welcome back, everybody, as we have got a barn burner on our hands through the first 2 innings as Fairmont jumped out to a 5-0 lead, but now Mineral County, they've loaded the bases in the first 2 innings, couldn't break through in the first, but able to do so here in the second with 4 runs. And now it'll be Purdue on the mound. First pitch swinging, and this one hit high in the air to right center field over the head of everybody, as that'll end up being a double. Perhaps Nichols digging for second, and he'll be in standing up with a leadoff double. So Larry Nichols getting in on the action after he struck out in his first plate appearance. Able to come up and absolutely crush that ball into right center field, and that'll bring up River McLean. Again, 7, 8, 9 hitters this inning. And another ball that almost left the ballpark as McLean takes a strike, 0-1. There's strike 2 to McLean. Again, McLean also struck out in his first plate appearance back in the first inning, but was able to reach base after the third strike got away. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good job hanging on that time by Hare, who's now behind home plate, it appears. Or no, that's Orndorff, I think. Yes, Orndorff now behind home plate as he and Purdue swapping out. They lifted Purdue before he got to the 35 pitch plateau, which would have caused him to have to sit out an extra day. So now he only needs 1 day's rest to come back, but we could be in for a very high scoring affair here. The way things are moving right now as Van Gilder tries to lay down a bump but misses on it. 1-1 the count. It's starting to feel like one of those games where if you come up empty in an inning, it's going to really come back to hurt you later on. Fastball misses high, 2-1. Fairmont put up 4 runs in the first, 1 in the second. Mineral County had their chance in the first inning but came up empty with bases loaded and 1 out, but then break through with a 4-run, 2-out rally in the second. And that pitch misses high to Van Gilder. 3-1 now they count. This is an important batter as well for Mineral County. You go back to the top of the order after this. Van Gilder struck out in his lone plate appearance thus far. Swing and a miss on a fastball that time. Now the count full at 3-2. Now here comes the payoff pitch for Van Gilder. Ball 4 high, and that puts him at first base with a 1-out walk. So now things get interesting. Going back to the top of the order as Owen Music, his 3rd plate appearance in 3 innings, 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch in the first and struck out in the second. This one rocked into left field, and that's going to be in for a hit. Let's see if they will send the runner or not. They'll hold him at third. So bases loaded now for Fairmont. And that'll bring up Case Lynn. Lynn reached on an error in the first inning and was hit by a pitch last time up. And the hot hitting just continues here on both sides. That is 7 hits now pounded out by Fairmont already in this game as Lynn takes a strike, 0-1. That one fouled off to the right by Lynn, 0-2. So this is a very important moment for Mineral County. They desperately need this to be the second out, but if not, Fairmont could be heading for another big inning here. Here's the 0-2. This one lifted into center field, and that's going to get into the gap, into the wall as it bounces off the top of the wall and over the fence. So that'll be a ground rule double for Case Lynn, and it will plate 2, and the lead now goes back up to 7-4. Again, this is turning into a T-ball affair out here right now between these two ball clubs as they're just ripping into everything. And if it weren't for that ball hitting the top of the fence and carrying over, that might have played it all 3 runs. Again, they've only got it put at 6-4 on the scoreboard. Should be 7-4 right now in favor of Fairmont. I'm sure they'll fix that at some point. Again, our scoreboard is attached to the scoreboard here, so it reads what the scoreboard reads. As there's a high fly ball by Woodman into left field. Coming on and making the grab is Catlett for out number 2, tagging up from third and coming in to score. Makes it an 8-4 game as heads up play that time. Fairmont now has a 4-run lead back. So an RBI sac fly by Tanner Woodman makes it 8-4. With Deshaun Floyd standing in, chops one over towards short. Going to be a tough play. Throws to first and gets Floyd by a step to end the top of the 3rd inning. But Fairmont Senior comes back and plates 3 more runs of their own, and they now take an 8-4 lead into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Back after this as you're watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament with us right here on Video Productions. Bottom of the 3rd inning we move as, again, this high-scoring affair motors on. Chris Kidd with you with Brian Shepard, our engineer and statistician. As new pitcher will be Mcknight, coming in from the left field to pitch now as he'll step in for Lynn. And again, as we said, if there's any zeros put up on the board right now, it could come back and really haunt one of these two teams as Fairmont has scored in each frame. 4 runs in the first, 1 run in the second, and 3 in the third. A swing and a miss by Lucas Williamson, 0-1. And Mineral County had bases loaded and 1 out in the first, but couldn't get a run across, but they did plate 4 runs with a 2-out rally in the second in order to cut it back to a 1-run game before Fairmont came back with 3 more runs of their own. So this game is just swinging all over the pendulum right now. That one misses low, 2-1 to Williamson, who struck out in the first inning. with the bases loaded for Mineral County. Now trying to reach to get things started here in the bottom of the third. Swing and a miss, 2-2 now the count. Mcknight gets the sign that he wants as he's ready. Now comes set. Swung on and fouled off. As Williamson keeps himself alive. We've seen 3 pitching changes for Mineral County thus far, and this is the second one for Fairmont as Ling comes out after 2 innings of work. Off-speed pitch kind of bunted over towards the first base side on a check swing by Williamson. And he'll stay alive once again as he's fouled off a second straight 2-2 pitch. Mcknight taking his time. Now appears ready. Strike 3 called at the knees as Williamson goes down looking, and second strikeout of Williamson in this contest, and first one for Mcknight.
Jeremiah Babo.
Now you get Jeremiah Babo standing in, who absolutely torched a ball into center field his last time up, but Van Gilder had just enough room to make the grab and keep it in the ballpark. Off-speed pitch in for strike 1, 0-1. Here you see the replay of that strikeout just a moment ago. Again, great location right at the knees of Williamson. It's hard to tell the height from where we're at on our video camera, but that one came in right across the knees for strike 3, and now gets ahead of Babo, 0-2. So Mcknight back on the rubber, trying to retire Babo. Very dangerous at the plate here. Way out in front of that off-speed pitch, and Mcknight gets him swinging for out number 2. So back-to-back strikeouts for Mcknight, and that'll bring up Landon Catlett. Catlett struck out in the second inning. And this is just a great off-speed pitch. You see how far out in front he got Babo. This time, though, not out in front, right on it is Catlett as he rips it down the left field line, and he'll be in with a stand-up double. Well, this is where Mineral County did their damage in the second inning. Again, Ling got 2 quick outs and had 2 strikes on McGreevy, and then he singled, and then the floodgates opened up for Mineral County. Now here comes Braylon McGreevy up again. Again, that single to right field ignited this Mineral County ball club. Now can it be Catlett who does so? And the number 9 hitter in this lineup, what we've seen, almost every batter through the lineup on both sides is dangerous. Again, you see that one, just a rope down the left field line that hugged just inside the fair line. This one hit hard into right field, and that's going to sink and fall in for a hit. Rounding third, here comes Williamson. The throw to the plate is in time. He guns him down, and what a throw from right field by Woodman that time as he receives hugs and high fives all the way back to the dugout. Actually, that was McLean in right field who moved over in the substitution, and McLean just a frozen rope all the way to home plate. You could even see the Fairmont coaches, it looked like, saying to cut it off or throw it into second just to prevent McGreevy from moving over to second, and that just an absolutely perfect throw by McLean to end the bottom of the third inning and keep Mineral County off the scoreboard. We move to the top of the fourth inning next with your score 8-4 Fairmont. Back after this as you're watching the 2020 Little League State Tournament right here on Video Productions. In a game full of plays of the day, we might have just had the best one yet on that throw from River McLean all the way home in the air, not even on a bounce from deep right field in order to keep a run off the board as Catlett tried to score from second on the single by McGreevy, but nothing doing. And Fairmont hangs on to their 8-4 lead. Chris Kidd here with you alongside me, Brian Shepard. Now here comes a deep drive into left field going back, and it is gone. Bledsoe plays long ball, and Fairmont has now opened up a 9-4 lead as they have rebuilt their 5-run lead after they saw it shrink to 1 back in the second inning. And Brody Bledsoe has just been unconscious here today, as you knew it as soon as it left the bat. And Bledsoe seemed to know it too. That is his 4th RBI of the game. He had a 2-run RBI single in the first, an RBI single in the second, and now a solo blast here in the 4th inning to make it 9-4 in favor of Fairmont. Again, this Fairmont club has just pounded out hit after hit in this game. This will be the number 6 hitter in the lineup, Carter Mcknight. As Purdue rears back and fires a fastball as hard as he can, but misses high with it, 1-0. There's kind of a check swing by Mcknight, fouls it back into the screen. Give Mcknight 1 for 2 today, had an RBI single in the first inning and struck out to end the second inning. Now he's taken over on the mound for Fairmont. Had a good inning last inning. That pitch misses low, 2-1 the count. This one lifted into shallow right field, sinking fast and gets in for a base hit. And Mcknight will reach as Corbin McKenzie in right field, able to cut that off. And that is hit number 10 now for this Fairmont ball club in this game. And just once again, a nice piece of hitting, staying back on his back foot and taking that into right field. Now the number 7 hitter in the lineup stands in for Fairmont as Purdue ready to deliver. First pitch misses high. As Larry Nichols, 1 for 2 in this game, struck out in the first inning and then doubled to right center field in the third inning to lead things off. Swing and a miss as a fastball by Purdue gets by, 1-1. Another fastball swung on a miss by Nichols, 1-2. So Purdue trying to settle in and get the first out of the inning here. That one fouled off by Nichols. Again, nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. Fairmont holding a 9-4 edge. Winner faces Cerrito Canova tomorrow night. Loser faces Greater Greenbrier as there's a chopper towards third. Fielded there on to first. Not in time for a double play as Nichols beats that out. But Babo with a nice play over at third to cut down the lead runner and retire Mcknight. So now let's see if we have a substitution here. See on our replay again, Babo able to cut that off before it could get in between third and short, and then almost with a double play. And now Garrett Bosley will stand in and hit in place of River McLean. Again, Landon Jones is the other substitute that'll come in, and we've started to see the substitutes come in from Mineral County as McKenzie and Feaster were in the field last inning. And Corbin McLean will courtesy run over at first base for Nichols as that pitch misses, 1-0. Bosley takes a big rip at that one on the inside corner and misses. 1-1 now the count. There's another big rip, comes up empty, and snap throw down to first. Almost able to get McLean, but he's just able to get back to the bag. And we saw Ivan Miller this morning for Logan with a quick throw down to first, cut down lead runner in that ball game. He was a very impressive catcher this morning for the Logan All-Stars as Bosley looks at strike 3, and that'll retire him for the second out of the inning. We'll see if this will be the spot where Landon Jones will bat. Yes, it will be, as he'll stand in for Colby Van Gilder. And the solo blast by Brody Bledsoe to lead off this inning has given Fairmont back a 9-4 lead. But Purdue trying to limit the damage to just that. Again, Mineral County can get going in a heartbeat, too, at the plate. So, again, 5 runs, as we've seen, is not out of reach. They were already down 5-0 in this game. Came back to cut it to 5-4, but Fairmont has taken their lead back. First pitch to Jones misses, 1-0. That one catches the inside corner, and Jones looking, 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss as Jones went after that one, but came up empty, and now 1 strike away is Purdue from keeping Fairmont to just 1 run this inning, and it's scary to think that that seems like a big accomplishment right now, but it is with the way that this Fairmont team swings the bats, and there's strike 3 called on the outside corner. Great location by Purdue that time to retire the side, but a solo home run by Brody Bledsoe gives Fairmont back a 5-run lead. They lead at 9-4 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Back after this, as you are watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament with us right here on Video Productions. Nine to 4 in favor of Fairmont as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Chris Kidd with you, Brian Shepard, our engineer and statistician, as Mineral has the top of their order up this inning, trying to have a rally as they did in the 2nd inning. As Mcknight deals, this one gets by him up the middle as Music keeps it on the infield, but it'll be a hit for Jackson Hare. That is his 2nd hit of the game, and the 9th overall for Mineral County. So again, 10 hits for Fairmont, 9 now for Mineral. It's just been more timely hitting thus far by the Fairmont ball club that's made the difference in this game. And now you have Blake Jacobs standing in, takes a strike, 0-1. Or excuse me. Yes, again, Jacobs 0 for 1 in this game. Reached on an error in the 1st inning and walked in the 2nd. It's off-speed pitch. Mcknight misses a little high with it. Now 1-1. I feel like this is the inning where Mineral County might need to get something done with the top of their order up. It started out with an infield single by Hare, and now they count 2-1 to Jacobs. This one hit towering fly ball into center field, coming on and making the grab for out number 1. That catch made out there in center field by Woodman, who's moved over there. As we said, McLean made that great play in right field last inning to keep Mineral County off the scoreboard, and that'll bring up Jesus Purdue. Purdue is 2 for 2 today. Singled to right field in the first inning, had a 2 RBI double in the second inning. There you see the catch made by Woodman in center field to retire first out of the inning, as this one hit back up the middle, and that one's through for a hit. Throw quickly to second, but Hare able to get there quickly as Purdue continues to be perfect today. Now 3 for 3 at the plate. Just been outstanding as this young man. And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Landon Orndorff. He's also been outstanding today, 2 for 2 at the plate. That is hit number 10 for Mineral County in the game, and Orndorff has 2 of those, a single to left and a 2-run double into right center field. And now a not big opportunity as that pitch gets away, and that moves runners up to second and third with 1 out. At the moment, if you're Fairmont or Mineral, you're just looking for outs, not more or less worried about a run that might score at this juncture. That pitch misses low, 2-0. Now a hitter's count here for Orndorff. Could be sitting dead red at a fastball here, but once again misses low by Mcknight, 3-0. And if you're Fairmont, it may not necessarily be the end of the world if you walked Orndorff. You've had much better success after the first 4 batters than you have through the bottom half of the order. But now 3-0 pitch on the way, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Orndorff. So a single, a deep fly out, another single, and a walk. And for the 3rd time in this game, Mineral County has loaded the bases. In the first inning, they loaded them with 1 out. But back-to-back strikeouts by Lynn got them out of that jam. The second inning, they scored 4. Now here's a fly ball to right. Underneath it and making the catch is McLean. Here he comes with a throw home. This time not in time. Throw to third, though, is in time as they get Purdue trying to sneak into third after the fact. And once again, the play in right field ends up making the difference. And this time it was actually Bosley who came up with a throw again. Everyone playing right field for Fairmont coming up with huge plays here today, as 1 run does cross on that sac fly. But once again, heads up play by Lynn behind home plate to go right to third and get the 3rd out of the inning. We head to the top of the 5th inning now. It's a 9-5 lead for Fairmont. Back after this as you're watching the 2020 Little League State Tournament right here on Video Productions. back to the barn burner affair here at Central Greenbrier Little League Field in the 2020 Little League State Tournament. Chris Kidd with you with my producer, my statistician, my guy, Brian Shepard today, who braved all day with me through the heat, the morning mist, and now as we head into the cooler evening, we get to do it all again tomorrow with 4 more games, but this one has definitely been the most bizarre of all of them. Again, we've had 4 really good games all throughout today. And this one's definitely been the most back and forth that we've seen. As Jackson Hare will stand in now. He'll be the 4th pitcher of the game for Mineral County as first pitch fouled back to the screen by Owen Music, as it is the top of the order now for Fairmont. And they have scored in all 4 innings. That one misses over the head of Music, 1-1. Again, 4 runs in the first for Fairmont, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and 1 in the fourth. Music takes a big rip, can't come up with it, and counting at 1-2 now. So let's see if Hare can get a quick out this inning. Again, 1 for 2 today as Music singled in his last plate appearance. This one hit hard back up the middle and rifled into center field as Babo comes up with it and fires back in. But Music just absolutely smoked that ball into center field for his 2nd straight hit. Now 2 of 3 on the day. You see, he just timed that one up and ripped it right back up the chute. That'll bring up Case Lynn. Lynn is 1 for 2 today, reached on an error, was hit by a pitch, and had a 2 RBI double back in the 3rd inning. Hare backs off the rubber, now back on. First pitch hit hard down the third base side, and that is fair, and that's going to get to the wall. Falling down in left field, now a chance here for Music as he's motoring around the bases. He'll score standing up, and an RBI double for Case Lynn, his 3rd RBI of the game. Still nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning, and you knew once this got back to the top of the order again for Fairmont, it could spell trouble for Mineral County, and immediately it pays off. A single by Music, an RBI double by Lynn, and now you've got the heart of the order coming up as Tanner Woodman struck out in his first plate appearance, singled in the 2nd, and then had an RBI sac fly in the 3rd inning. Hare winds and delivers. That pitch misses, 1-0. Hare with that big windup misses again low, 2-0 the count moves. Or excuse me, 2-1 now. Runner at 2nd, nobody out. This pitch hit hard in between 3rd and short. That gets into left field. Rounding 3rd is Lynn, waiting now, ends up going the throw to the plate, and he is out at home. Great play there. Again, Lynn hesitated to see if he wanted to go or not, then decided to take off and ended up getting gunned down. Again, great job hitting the relay man, and the throw home perfectly in time from Blake Jacobs to Orndorff in order to apply the tag. Again, here you see it, Lynn holding up, and the relay throw got into Jacobs in plenty of time. But by that point, Lynn had turned to take off for home, and by that point it was too late, and Jacobs able to deliver a strike to Orndorff for the first out of the inning. So now runner at 2nd as Woodman moved up on the throw home after his single. Now you get Deshaun Floyd. It's Floyd today, 1 for 3. That pitch misses outside. Floyd singled in the 1st inning, struck out in the 2nd, and grounded out to short his last time up. Batting in the number 4 spot as that pitch misses outside as well, 2-0. Fairmont has continued their tradition of scoring in each frame as they've placed a run up on the board already this inning. They're Hare comes back with a strike, moves the count to 2-1. And you've got Bledsoe on deck, who went yard in his last plate appearance as Floyd fouls this one back into the screen. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we said, Mineral County has been right there with Fairmont hit-wise in this contest. They just haven't had the timely hitting that Fairmont has had. Again, they've had the bases loaded 3 times, but only really capitalized on it once, and they're strike 3 looking on Floyd. So big strikeout there for Hare. And that'll bring up Brody Bledsoe. Bledsoe's just been a killer today at the plate. A 2 RBI single in the first inning, an RBI single in the second inning, and a solo home run last time. This time pops it up on the infield, and no one called for it. But the catch able to be made out at second base by Williamson to retire Fairmont here in the top of the 5th inning. But Fairmont tacks on a run to get their 5-run lead back. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning, 10-5 in favor of Fairmont. We'll be back after this as you're watching the 2020 Little League State Tournament with us right here on Video Productions. Six, 7, and 8 hitters up this inning for Mineral County, as it'll be Lucas Williamson, Jeremiah Babo, and Landon Catlett. Chris Kidd with you, with Brian Shepard, our engineer and statistician. As it's Fairmont leading at 10-5, and Mineral County running out of time, running out of outs here as the sun sets here at Hollowell Field in Greenbrier, West Virginia. Mcknight's first pitch, off speed, drops in for a strike, 0-1, as Williamson 0 for 2 today, struck out in both of his plate appearances. Mineral County desperately looking for a rally right now, and there's strike 2 on the outer half, quickly to 0-2 as Mcknight trying to retire Williamson for the 3rd time today, who made the catch last inning to retire Brody Bledsoe for the first time. This one, he digs out of the ground like a pitching wedge and slices it into right center field for a leadoff hit. And that was definitely the toughest pitch that he saw out of the 3 from Mcknight. But Williamson just dug that out of the ground and put it into right field again. Nice piece of hitting there. A little extra slice on it to get it over the head of the second baseman. And now you get Jeremiah Babo, who's 0 for 2 today, flew out to deep center field his first time up and struck out in his second plate appearance against Mcknight. And that time he tried to time up that off-speed pitch, but fouls it off. And again, Babo had to be one of the first ones to face Mcknight whenever he came into the game and wasn't quite ready for the change of speed Mcknight brings. Got punched out well out in front of an off-speed pitch. This time he gets under one, lifts it high on the infield. Second baseman backs up and able to make the play for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning, as Bledsoe back in his normal position, able to make the grab on that one.
Carson Feaster.
So now Carson Feaster stands in for the first time today, batting in place of Catlett. First pitch, dribbles it off of home plate, back to the mound. Tough play at first, and safe. Feaster able to beat it out over at first, and that puts runners at first and third with 1 out. Just great hustle that time by Feaster. He chopped it off of home plate, more or less, and you saw a quick move by Mcknight to get over there. But Feaster was booking it up the line, and let's see here. It's close. Yeah, it looks bang, bang play, so the tie would go to the runner at that point. So that was a tough call over at first base, and Feaster able to beat it out. Now the pitch ripped into shallow center field, coming on and making the grab for out number 2. As they retire Corbin McKenzie, who batted in place of Braylon McCreevy there. So now that brings it back to the top of the order with Jackson Hare, runners at first and second, and 2 out. Mcknight trying to preserve a 5-run lead going into the 6th inning. Swung on and fouled back into the screen by Hare. Hare is 2 for 3 today, struck out in the 1st inning and singled in the 2nd and 4th inning. Again, you still feel Mineral County, if you get a long ball here, all of a sudden this lead shrinks to 2 in a hurry. This one rocketed back up the middle and through for a hit. That's into left center field. That'll score 1 run, rounding in and sliding in. Cuts the lead back down to 4 as Jackson Hare now with his 3rd hit of the game as Mineral County refuses to go quietly. They continue to try and chip away at this Fairmont lead, and now you get Blake Jacobs to come to the plate. And Jacobs today, 0 for 2, reached on an error, walked, and flew out to center field his last time up. This one hit hard towards second, knocked down by Bledsoe, tries to flip it to second, but not in time. Again, he got a little bit mixed up on what he wanted to do that time. I think he saw Jacobs getting it down the line and didn't think he had time to go to first. Instead, flipped to second, but by that point, Hare had already gotten to the bag. And now, all of a sudden, you've got Jesus Perdue up, who is 3 for 3 today, a single, a 2 RBI double, and a single in the 4th. And you're a long ball away from this game being tied up. That pitch misses outside, 1-0. Again, Perdue and Orndorff have just been deadly. They are 5 for 5 between themselves here tonight. And these are the next 2 batters to face as this one lifted into right field over the head of Bosley and up against the wall. Perdue has 1 run in, 2 runs in. Here comes a 3rd run to the plate, and Perdue into 3rd with a triple, and all of a sudden we have a 1-run game here in Greenbrier. Jesus Perdue coming up huge when it matters most, as Bosley, you could see, took a couple of steps in, thinking that ball was going to sink faster, but it gets over his head, and all 3 runs come in. And now you've got Landon Orndorff up with a chance to tie this game, or even more shockingly, if he goes yard, would give Mineral County their first lead of the game. This has just been an unbelievable affair here tonight in our final contest, and now you see a visit to the mound here. We'll see if they stay with Mcknight. Again, he's at 38 pitches at this point. So now here comes Orndorff. He's 2 for 2 today. He singled to left field, had a 2-run double in the 2nd, and then was walked in the 4th inning. Let's see if Mcknight even pitches to him at this point. Again, a base hit ties this game. This one ripped into left field, back towards the wall. Mineral County leads it on a 2-run blast by Landon Orndorff. Unbelievable turn of events here in Greenbrier County, and all of a sudden Mineral County has their first lead of the evening. That was a no-doubter as soon as he touched it, and Orndorff knew it himself. And all of this happening with 2 outs this inning. Again, it was 10-5 with 2 outs. It all started with Williamson singling to open this inning. A pop out by Babo. Feaster beating out an infield hit. McKenzie flew out on the infield. And now Hare with an RBI single. Jacobs reaching on a fielder's choice. A 3-run triple by Purdue. And a 2-run home run by Orndorff. And this is the 9th batter to come to the plate this inning. And Cade Bauer. He rips one back into center field, and he's on with a 2-out single. As Mineral County, I think they know as well that a 1-run lead probably ain't going to cut it right now because Fairmont has scored in every frame tonight. They scored 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. So Mineral County has yet to shut out Fairmont in an inning. And you have to figure Mineral County's going to want to keep the pressure on right now. And it'll be interesting to see who they go to. As Catlett will come in to courtesy run now. And to be honest, if I'm Mineral County, Orndorff might be their best pitcher. Again, I don't know these teams from Adam coming in except for what I've seen thus far. But, you know, if you had a better pitcher than Orndorff, I would put him in going into the 6th inning to try and get 3 outs or whoever it is that may be your best at that juncture. Now this one fisted into center field, coming on and making the grab for out number 3 to retire Williamson. But Mineral County sends 10 to the plate this inning. And on a 3-run triple by Purdue and a 2-run blast by Orndorff, all of a sudden Mineral County is in the lead and 3 outs away from advancing in the winner's bracket. Back after this to see what happens next, folks. You're watching the West Virginia State Little League Tournament with us right here live on Video Productions. Welcome back to absolutely one of the wildest Little League games you will ever see. And could we be coming to the conclusion of it? Chris Kidd with you, along with Brian Shepard, our engineer and statistician. 6 runs for Mineral County in the bottom of the 5th inning to give them their first lead of the game. And now if Jackson Hare can put up the first 0 on the scoreboard of Fairmont today, they will escape with a shocking comeback win as they deal with the 6, 7, and 8 hitters this inning. Carter Mcknight, Larry Nichols, River McLean as Mcknight. 2 for 3 tonight, had an RBI single in the first, struck out in the second, and singled to right field in the fourth. The count now at 1 ball and 1 strike. This game has just been full of rallies, comebacks, home runs, unbelievable plays. I mean, this has absolutely had it all tonight, folks. This one lifted in the air to center field. Babo backing up on it. He'll make the grab for out number 1. So Hare does maybe the hard part and gets the first batter of the inning. And now you deal with Larry Nichols. He's 1 for 3 today. Struck out in the first, doubled to right center field in the 3rd inning, and hit into a fielder's choice in the 4th. This one hit hard between 3rd and short. Fielded, knocked down. Going to be a tough play, and beating it out is Nichols. So he's aboard as Jacobs bobbled it and couldn't come up with it cleanly. And Nichols will reach on the air. Again, that could be a play that comes back to haunt right there, perhaps. Again, both sides definitely have a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda plays in this game, as well as the remarkable plays that they've made. But now let's see how Fairmont responds to this. Again, as we've mentioned several times, they've scored in every inning they've batted here tonight. They jumped out to a 4-0 lead, then a 5-0 lead. Mineral County cut it back to 5-4. Then it went back to 8-4, then 9-4, then to 9-5, then 10-5. Before the 6 runs last inning, right back to Hare. Fields it, throws to second for one, on to first, off the glove of the first baseman Purdue, and McLean. Would have been a double play had he been able to make it, as that was a rifle thrown over to first base that time. And Purdue couldn't glove it in time, but they do get the lead runner as Hare able to throw to second to get that out, and then the line drive thrown by Jacobs to first. That was a major league level MPHs on that throw over here. Again, we're right on top of it, and that thing was humming over to first base. But now Fairmont, unbelievably, from where we were about 15 minutes ago, down to their last out. And let's see if it'll be Van Gilder or another player. It will be Colby Van Gilder. He's 0 for 1 tonight, struck out and walked. There's strike one. It's McLean, the tying run, stands at first base. And if Van Gilder can reach, then it gets back to the top of the order for Fairmont. That one misses inside, 1-1. So if you're Hare, this is absolutely the batter that you want to come after right now, because the top of this order for Fairmont has just been lethal all night. That one fouled up into the screen, and now Fairmont down to their last strike. Again, both teams are still going to be around in this tournament after today, and from what we've seen, wouldn't we love to see these two meet up again at some point? As this game has been as entertaining as it could be. And will it end here on this final pitch? And the irony of ironies, could be the first 0 put on the board on Fairmont tonight. Hare delivers. Strike 3 swinging. An unbelievable comeback for the Mineral County All-Stars as they score 6 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning to knock off the Fairmont All-Stars 11-10 tonight in a game for the ages in state Little League play. As you see both teams salute each other, and rightfully so, as this game was just something that, you know what, I've seen baseball for about 12 hours today. I think I may even go home and rewatch this one again at the hotel after the fact. This was just absolutely incredible. And if the next 4 days are anything like we saw today, Brian and I and the Mounds brothers and Butch are in for a treat for the rest of the week. Just 4 tremendous games, and ends with a game of all games here tonight. Again, you look at the final stat line, 11 runs on 15 hits and 2 errors for Mineral County, 10 runs on 13 hits and 1 error for Fairmont, and just an absolute barn burner here today. So I tell you what, folks, if you got friends out there that like Little League Baseball, just like baseball in general, share this with them, send this to them. I said this will be a game that a lot of people want to go back and look. And here you see Landon Orndorff, the 2-run blast that gave Mineral County the lead in the bottom of the 5th inning for the first time tonight, and they made it hold up in the top of the 6th inning to win this game 11-10 here tonight. As we look at our schedule for tomorrow, again 10 a.m. it'll be Billington and Boone Northern, an elimination game, followed at 1 o'clock with Central Greenbrier against Fairmont and another elimination game. Then at 6 p.m. you have Logan versus Sophia in the winners bracket. And in the other winners bracket game, it'll be Cerrito Canova against this Mineral County Ball Club. So make sure you're with us tomorrow morning for more Little League action, as we'll see the field shrink from 8 to 6 tomorrow and see 2 teams move into the finals of the winners bracket. So for Brian Shepard, I'm Chris Kidd saying so long tonight here from Hollowell Field in Greenbrier County, West Virginia, where Mineral County wins at 11-10. You've been watching the 2020 Little League State Tournament with us right here live on Video Productions.